Hello, Juan. This is Margarita Calderon, Johns Hopkins. And for the past 2.5 years, a committee from math, science, and reading has been working together out of the National Research Council to put together a publication, a report on the status of teacher education and how all these disciplines need to come together. There's a very strong emphasis on English as a second language for all these different areas. My question to you is, how can you help disseminate this report, this publication that brings all these disciplines together, but also focuses on language minority students in ways that teacher education programs can begin to emphasize and focus on the needs of English language learners?
Okay, great. And if I think if I heard it right, the question was that you all have worked on a report that captures a lot of the coming together across the disciplines, and in particular working with English language learners. And if I heard it right, there were a couple of questions. One is, how do we get that report out to people to see what you all have learned along the way? And second, how do we really kind of make it happen? Was that about? Okay.
Yes, that's correct.
So I think there are a couple of things. One is, please send it to us and to our office, because one of the easiest things we can do from the White House Office on Education Excellence for Hispanics is to get it out to our tens of thousands of people who signed up into our network. We're in the process right now of getting our Facebook page and a lot of the other social network tools up online. And so, and we're literally getting that done within the week. So that's a natural place for people who are coming to us to get information and to learn about things that impact the Latino community in education. That's a targeted group of people who are looking for that. So I think we can help you kind of do that directly. The second piece, which I wanted to talk about, not just with this report, but in a broader sense, is what our office is going to be doing moving forward later this summer and into the fall. A lot of you probably had a chance to have heard of or actually involved in some of the White House community conversations we had last summer, last fall, moving into this year, where we got a chance to hear from thousands of people across the country, more than 20 states, 100 different community conversations. We started with some of our ones there at UT San Antonio, where we got a chance to hear from people directly in the field about what issues were impacting the Latino community around education. At that time, we also asked people to sign up both to get information, like the report you were just mentioning, but more importantly, to sign up with us to take action. And so what we're now doing is preparing to have those convenings that are going to be kind of moving into late summer into the fall. And what we're going to be doing is bringing people together across the country without an agenda, knowing that people bring two interests to the table. They're interested in education, and they're interested in the Latino community. For your folks, they may come with a focus on STEM, but we're leaving it pretty wide open because we want people to come together to say, anyone who's related, who wants to work on STEM, let's get them together so we can figure out how we work together on some of these pieces as well. That could be another natural place where some of these, where the convenings we're going to be having around the country would be great to have you and the folks from Johns Hopkins, the other folks who've been involved in the studies, to come to be able to let people know what you've learned, to talk about those strategies and to make it happen. The third thing I would mention, and I didn't hear this in the question, but when I heard teacher education, that reminded me that an important piece for us, I said it quickly, but an important part of the President's reauthorization of the Elementary and Secondary Education Act is going to be the focus on teacher education. And so here, once again, I think schools like UTSA, other Hispanic serving institutions, I know UT Austin has been heavily involved with Angela Valenzuela and a number of the groups who are really looking at the teacher education piece, in particular, how it relates to the Latino community. So once again, I think with the big emphasis that we're placing there, and we all know how important that teaching piece is, I think that's another place where the kind of report you're talking about and sharing that kind of information on what you've learned and those recommendations that can actually help us take action. You're going to hear us like a broken record. We know that we've had great reports you've got a great report that we need to get out to people, but you all know you want those reports to turn into action. We want those reports to turn into action. And so our strategy is now, how can we do that from our office, from the administration perspective, bring people together in a way that past administrations haven't had the chance to do. We can do it live, we can do it through technology, but that we really get people together in the room so that we're not just having great conversations, but that we're actually kind of figuring out strategies to put this into action. So that's kind of how we're thinking. That's how we could help you with your report. That's how you could come around the country to help us share what you're learning and to get other people involved, and then ultimately how that's going to tie to teacher education work as well.